Just Incredible with part 2 of the Serges stage tutorial. This is the heart of the entire stage, the upcoming elevator skip. As you see, I've started a little bit before the point of concern. I just want to go over something real quick. That these platforms, when they spawn, they spawn at a specific point on the map. And once they spawn, they automatically go in their predetermined path. And once they spawn, you cannot reset their order, you cannot despawn them, or try to go back in the stage and fix the platform should you mess up the setup. So it's very important that you keep moving and you follow these instructions because they are very, very crucial to get this elevator skip on the first try. If you miss the elevator skip, you lose 20 seconds, and you have to wait for the elevator to come back down. So, from this spot just before the double horizontal platforms, we're just going to walk off and use the rush burner, and we're going to stop at kind of a staircase-looking set of platforms just before the third pit of spikes. Okay. As you see, that platform that is in the top right-hand corner of the screen spawns at exactly right in front of that small little platform. And I'll bring up the first part of the visual aid here. Okay. You see, I've got two arrows pointing at these two platforms. These are the initial spawn points for these two platforms. The platform on the bottom that has the green arrow, it will move horizontal, and you just need to move it forward enough so you can actually fit under it. While the platform that goes up spawns at the bottom, and it instantly starts going up once it is spawned on screen. So, here we're going to go over this very carefully. From the starting position that I am at now, you jump straight up and grab the bottom part of the wall above you. Then you dash jump to that small platform in front of that horizontal elevator's initial spawn point. This gives the elevator time to move right to give you enough room to go under it when you begin the air dash. And I've color-coded not only the lines on the visual aid, but I've also color-coded the instructions to match with it. For part 2, you're going to walk off the platform just like you did before, and you're only going to go a few pixels down. This is a little quicker dash than the other one was before. And you're just going to go down just enough so that when you air dash horizontally, those hitbox detections, the hitboxes won't collide, and the platform that goes horizontal will actually push X down just under the elevator, or the horizontal elevator. But if you think back to Bubble Crab's water surface jump that you used to get that sub-tank, you're going to be using that similar mechanic here to get out of the water. So once you go off the platform, you're going to air dash to the right just before X's feet gets close to those spikes. I mean, this will take a lot of practice to get down right, because depending on your timing, it may be different, just depending on how used to the controls that you have. And then right after that air dash, you have to wait until the air dash is over before you can attempt to jump out of the water to do the surface jump, because X cannot jump during the air dash. You have to wait for his animation to be over. Because if you try to jump during it, you'll miss the timing and you'll just fall to your death and hit the spikes. Also, you notice that I lined up the color of the red line and the blue line to the exact point to where X should be when he jumps. So when he jumps out of the water and makes a splash, the splash should be in the middle of that ceiling. The purple part of that ceiling should line up vertically with the splash that he makes. This is a very key visual cue, because the angle that he jumps out, if the splash is too far to the left, he'll end up bonking his head on the right part of that ceiling, which means he probably won't, he'll be too far down on the right wall to climb up and grab the elevator. which means you will likely miss the elevator skip if that happens. And it's easy to miss, too. So you have to kind of wait after the air dash is over. Wait about a tenth of a second and hit the jump button. But before I attempt that, I'm just going to practice this surface jump here. See how I'm delaying the jump after the air dash is over? That's very key. Now see, he bonked his head there. So, if the elevator was here, I probably wouldn't get up in time to reach it. So, we're going to wait for this elevator to come back the other way for a minute. And then we're going to... Now, see, I bonked my head again. So, if the elevator was there, I would probably not make it. Now, that's perfect right there. That's the angle. You don't want his head to hit this ceiling. If you do, you're going to miss. To see how the platform pushed X down into the water a little bit? That's what that collision is. That's where that collision comes into play. Because if the hitboxes graze each other, it'll push X down. But if it doesn't graze and kind of catches it flush, he'll grab that elevator like it's a wall, and that turns his hitbox from horizontal to vertical. And his vertical hitbox sticks down far enough that it touches the spikes and he dies. So it's very easy for him to die here, if you're not careful. So I'm just going to go back to the point of concern here. I'm not going to be cute about this part. So we're going to... Let's ignore the elevators for a minute. Let's just worry about the setup. Or at least my setup. Jump straight up. You can also dash jump in place. It doesn't matter. So just jump straight up. Grab. And you want X's foot, just like this, to land right about here. Now see, he's going to get pushed because of the elevator. But that elevator should already be over here when he reaches this spot. So when he walks off, he just does jump. So you just walk off just a little bit. Now see, I didn't go far enough, and he caught the elevator. This part you really want to practice because it is crucial. Okay, so now that we got this part covered, see, that's the motion you want. So it's dash jump, you walk off, dash, wait just a very short moment, hit the jump button, and he ends up here, and the elevator should be right here waiting for him. So I'm going to wait one more time, and jump, jump, walk, dash, jump. Now see, just there, I boarded that elevator perfectly. I did not have to damage boost while wall kicking off the side. Now this is where part 2 comes into play. It's very likely that you'll have to take damage from the first flame jet to get on top of the lift. Well, in this exact case, I didn't have to. It's very rare that that never happens. It's very important that when you climb up this spike shaft here, you do not use the dash at all. Especially if he's not in invincibility frames, because the force of X's dash jump, if he jumps off of a wall, will push him directly into the spikes and you're dead. So you have to refrain from using the dash in this case, at least until you get on the lift and take damage from the second flame jet. Also, once you get on this flame jet, or I'm sorry, the lift, you need to prepare a charged rush burner for the spike pit coming up. while you are on the lift. And following the yellow instruction, once damaged from the second flame jet, use your invincibility to climb the spike wall using 2 dash jumps, the second jump of which grabs the ledge below point C, and then dash jump or just do a normal jump to get on solid ground and complete the elevator skip. So we're going to do that part now. As you see, he barely had enough invincibility frames to get all those spikes and not die, and then grab the lower ledge. Now that we're on this part, let me redo this because I did not show it on the OBS that I'm using to record. So let's pretend that I'm climbing up again. Wait for the second boost. See, he barely caught the bottom of that ledge. And you notice ahead there's a little bat hanging around, where we're going to talk about the next section. At point C, which is where I'm at now, dash forward a little, then jump to clear the ceiling above. Releasing the charged rush burner just before colliding with the first bat above the spikes. After the burner, I'll weapon switch to magnet mine and begin charging up full for the boss fight. While falling and getting close to the right wall on the final chasm, this is just like the beginning of the stage when I did it with the rush burner. Then air dash once X has cleared the ceiling above the giant green robot to get behind him and drop slyly in front of the door. And when you dash, you just dash him as you dash in place. You do not hold right, or you grab the wall and you lose a little bit of time getting back down. And I kind of screwed that up, but the damage boost works just as good. In fact, I would almost say that the damage boost is faster, if I'm not mistaken. But once you do the air dash and get in front of the door, charge up for mine, that's the whole stage. So I'm going to reset and do this whole stage in one motion. And I have to re-enter the password. If you have to, just play back this video if you don't understand something. Like so. And if you're using the optimal magnet mine strat for you advanced players, you will reach the magnet mine full charge before you touch this door. So keep that in mind. So for part 3, we're going to cover the Serges fight, and I've got a couple of different strategies for the beginners and the advanced players to use. So there's a couple of ways to take out Serges, but that is for part 3.